Today I'm reacting again to James Bond's watches.
In future, Commander, allow me to suggest a perfectly adequate watchmaker just down the street.
That's what it is. Rolexes in general have magnetic fields. Because I do this, and then all the f***ing women come at me. 5513, Rolex Submariner, f***ing glass. I'm not sure whose actor this is, but he kind of looks a bit like Pierce Brosnan, but he's not Pierce Brosnan. I'm not f***ing stupid, but he kind of looks like Pierce Brosnan. Like.
That's Roger Moore.
Roger Moore! Here, this is the f***ing saw. You know that this watch was sold in auction, this exact watch with that f***ing spinning thing, for $245,000 in auction.
Did it actually spin?
I think so, yeah. It didn't keep time, like there's no f***ing movement in the watch,
Yeah.
but I mean, here, this is actually the drawing. F***ing class. Yeah, this is Live and Let Die, 1973.
I could have shot you down when you landed, but that would have been ridiculously easy.
You know what this is?
What is it?
This is the Rolex Cialini King Midas. You know who King Midas is?
He turns everything into gold.
Holy f***, how the f*** do you know that? You actually was spot on. Rolex in 1962 first showed the Rolex Cialini King Midas in gold. This watch was named indeed after King Midas, the guy that turns everything in f***ing gold. I'm wondering if he has a gold dick.
He must.
He must have a gold dick. Personally, for me, this is my least favorite ever Rolex created.
Like, of all time?
Of all time.
Really?
You literally got it spot on. This is so f***ing horrible. The watch you see here was probably in production till about 1972. Later variants and later references were in production till late 70s. In and around the late 70s, they introduced this watch as well on a leather strap, which was, by the way, f***ing horrible. Now, the King Midas, don't know what Rolex was doing there. Like, if you really like this watch, which you shouldn't, you could buy this watch in and around the $6,000. It's a waste of your f***ing money and time. I got my messages like that as well from my mom when I was playing football outside. Come home immediately, you f***ing ball bag. So basically around the 80s, James Bond decided to go away from Rolex and thought the ultimate luxury is Seiko.
Yeah.
To be fair to Seiko, they were very important in that era because they introduced the quartz. They single-handedly nearly destroyed the Swiss watchmakers. And because of that, I don't really want to talk about Seiko.
Oh, that's the latest liquid crystal TV.
There's a movie called Octopussy. You know that Rolex actually has a watch called Octopussy? Octopussy is a Rolex Day-Date. We call it the Rolex Day-Date Octopussy. It has a mad f***ing bracelet.
Very handy. Perfect image, Q.
Ooh, look at that. These boobies. Is that actually in the movie?
Q's a sneaky
Q is a wee f***ing dirty Q. You know what? That Seiko is actually quite cool. It's actually a TV. So you had this f***ing watch on your wrist and like a receiver in your backpack like this big, and that was your TV. To be fair, that was forward thinking. Like today you still don't have it. Even an Apple Watch you can't watch TV with. That's funny, in the movie The Living Daylight, James Bond is actually wearing the first generation of the 16610. It's actually quite funny to see because the 5513 that James Bond was wearing in the 70s was discontinued in 1989. The 16610, and this is the first generation of that, was introduced in 1987. But the difference between the 5513 and the 16610 is that the 16610 is actually a date. That's my James Bond. Golden eye. You know what we call a golden eye? If you take your finger out of a vagina, that's a gold finger. But there's also a golden eye.
Which is?
That's the glory hole. That's the f***ing vagina hole. Hey, James Bond was a dirty bugger. Like, I believe that this is the first Omega ever used in a James Bond movie. You know what? It was a massive success for Omega because they sold a bucket loads of these watches. Like, what you see here is the Omega Seamaster reference number 25418000. I think that this is the most famous James Bond watch Omega has ever created. It's one of my least favorite ones because the watch you actually see here has a quartz movement, a battery powered movement. The watch is, for me, a little bit out of proportion with 41mm, and the bracelet is not very pretty. I'm not a big fan of the endings either, but this watch in this movie made a really, really big impact. You can pick these up fairly cheap, between $2,500 and $3,000. I still wouldn't spend money on it though.
This looks familiar.
Oh, 1 second, there's a watch box. From left to right, piece of shit piece of shit. Then it's a Tech Heuer for sure. Then it's, I think, a Breitling. Then it's a Cartier that looks like a Tech Heuer Link in gold. Then it's a Rolex Datejust 16233. Then it's that shitty Omega there.
We've made some improvements.
Have you indeed?
Okay.
To be fair, they did make an improvement with that watch because this actual reference number used in the movie, what is the movie? Tomorrow Never Dies, was actually an Omega Seamaster with an automatic movement rather than a quartz movement. So Omega finally started to make an effort. This watch was nearly identical to the watch used in GoldenEye. Two differences, however. The watch was automatic and some minor changes on the dial. Still not my favorite though. This is the Omega Seamaster reference number 25318000. A watch you can still pick up between $2,500 and $3,000. Die another day. The watch is standing so central within these movies, mate. The movie Casino Royale, what year is that?
2006.
2006. Omega are sneaky buggers, like. This is Omega's newest watch that they wanted to show in a new movie. Dirty buggers. The Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean was introduced a year earlier than this movie, 2005. And because they couldn't sell the they had to use Casino Royale to promote it. I sound like I hate Omega, do I?
A little bit, yeah.
I don't hate Omega. I think it's so shit that they tried to copy Rolex and everything. It doesn't feel right to me. James Bond should wear a Rolex, not a Omega.
I think it says in the books that he wears a Rolex.
Exactly. Are there James Bond books? But what you see here is the first generation of the Planet Ocean. Reference number 29005191. This is basically an Omega dive watch on steroids. 45.5 millimeter. Massively thick.
Damn, boy, he's thick! Boy, that's a thick-ass boy!
Former SAS types with easy smiles and expensive watches. Rolex?
Omega.
Beautiful.
What?
That's literally just the Omega salesman on set.
Is it actually in a movie or is this a joke? Nothing wrong with Omega, by the way. Except that they tried to copy Rolex. Quantum of Solence.
So, Quantum of Solace.
Solace?
Yes.
This title contains 3 words, and the only word I understand is off. This is the more tamed down Planet Ocean. 22015000. Still a dive watch on steroids. This time not a 45.5 millimeter, but a 42. It's actually quite a nice watch, to be fair. And from all the Planet Oceans ever created, the 42 millimeter is my favorite. A watch you can pick up today between $3,000 and $4,000. It's not a bad buy, to be honest. I would hate to be the director or producer of one of those James Bond movies when Omega is a sponsor. Because look at this. How do we get that watch in? This is not f***ing authentic. I'm not even gonna f***ing discuss this.
I said, doesn't time fly?
This is the reason why I f***ing don't like this shit. You see that f***ing strap? That f***ing strap dates back at one of the first ever Bond movies. A Rolex Submariner 6538. Why, Omega? Why do you constantly want to copy Rolex? To be honest, I am tired of James Bond.
But we have one more movie.
What movie?
No Time to Die.
I haven't seen this trailer yet, but let me take a guess. Omega will be well represented there.
James, when her secret finds its way out, it'll be the death of him.
Hey, that's Christopher. Is he back?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna watch the movie. I will only watch this movie because of Christopher, your man. Christoph.
History isn't kind to men who play God.
No way. That's your man, Malik.
Rami Malek.
He has a bad guy face, like. I'm very happy. No Omega promotion in the trailer. This will get my view.
What's your final verdict on the watches of James Bond?
We started so strong, and then James Bond become a sellout, and that breaks my heart.
So what's your favorite James Bond watch out of every movie?
The Rolex Submariner 5513. Although I think it's quite cool that there's a Seiko TV watch as well.
And which is your least favorite?
Don't ask. I need a fag, I need food. My name is Leonard. Nico. Leonard. 0069 is out.